Hello and welcome to another episode of Daily Current Affairs. Let us begin with the previous day's question. With reference to the Chola dynasty, consider the following statements. 1. It was one of the three major Tamil dynasties alongside the Cheras and Pandyas. 2. The empire reached its peak under Rajaraja Chola I and Rajendra Chola I, expanding across South India, Sri Lanka and parts of Southeast Asia. 3. During the rule, the revenue system was managed by a department called Puravu Varithi Naikalam. How many of the statements given above is or are not correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is option D. Cholas were one of the three major Tamil dynasties alongside Cheras and Pandyas and among the longest ruling powers in South India. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Founded by Vijayalaya Chola in the 9th century AD after defeating the Pallavas, the empire expanded across South India, Sri Lanka and parts of Southeast Asia. It reached its peak under Rajaraja Chola I and Rajendra Chola I, known for military conquests and administrative excellence. Hence, statement 2 is correct. During the rule, the revenue system was managed by a department called Puravu Varithi Naikalam, with land surveys and classification. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option D is the correct answer. Question 1. With reference to the ideal environmental conditions required for the growth of coral reefs, consider the following statements. 1. Sea surface temperatures between 20 degrees Celsius and 28 degrees Celsius are favorable for coral growth. 2. They require sediment-free shallow waters. 3. They flourish in areas with low salinity levels, typically below 20 parts per thousand. How many of the above statements are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is option B. Coral reefs are underwater ecosystems built by colonies of tiny marine animals called coral polyps. Sea surface temperatures between 20 degrees Celsius and 27 degrees Celsius are considered ideal for the growth and survival of coral reefs. Waters cooler or significantly warmer than this range can cause coral stress or bleaching. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Corals thrive in a clear, sediment-free shallow water because sunlight penetration is essential for photosynthesis performed by symbiotic algae within coral tissues. Turbid or muddy waters block light and hinder coral development. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Corals do not flourish in low salinity waters. Instead, they require stable marine salinity levels of around 34 to 37 parts per thousand. Low salinity can be detrimental to coral health. Hence, statement 3 is not correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 2. Which one of the following best describes the term moraines? A. Sand dunes formed by wind in arid regions. B. Sediment deposits left behind by retreating glaciers. C. Volcanic rocks formed during explosive eruptions. D. Coral fragments accumulated along coastlines. The correct answer is option B. Moraines are sediment deposits formed by retreating glaciers made up of soil, rocks, and debris that glaciers carry and leave behind as they move and melt. As glaciers advance and retreat, they erode the underlying land and leave behind these materials when the ice melts. Moraines serve as key indicators of past glaciations and climate history. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 3. Located in the Kannan Devan Hills of the southern Western Ghats, this protected area represents the largest and least disturbed stretch of the unique montane Shola grassland ecosystem. It is known for harboring the endangered Nilgiri tar. The park is also famous for the Neelakurinji, a rare flower that blooms once every 12 years. Which of the following protected areas is best described by the above features? A. Silent Valley National Park. B. Mukurti National Park. C. Eravikulam National Park. D. Periyar Tiger Reserve. The correct answer is option C. Eravikulam National Park is located in the Kannan Devan Hills of the southern Western Ghats within Devikulam Taluk of Idukki district, Kerala. It features a unique montane Shola grassland ecosystem comprising grasslands, shrublands, and evergreen Shola forests. It is best known for housing the largest viable population of the endangered Nilgiri tar and for the Neelakurinji, which blooms spectacularly once every 12 years. The next bloom is expected in 2030. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 4. Sawalkote Hydro Project in Jammu and Kashmir is situated on which of the following rivers? A. Jhelum, B. Ravi, C. Chenab, D. Byas. The correct answer is option C. The Sawalkote Hydroelectric Project is located on the Chenab River in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. It is a run-of-the-river project proposed on the river Chenab in district Ramban and Udhampur of UT Jammu and Kashmir. It will generate annual energy of 7,994.73 MUs. The National Hydroelectric Power Corporation has initiated the tendering process for its construction. The Chenab River, also known as the Chandrabhaga, is the largest tributary of the Indus River, formed by the confluence of the Chandra and Bhaga rivers at Tandi, Himachal Pradesh. Major hydroelectric projects on the Chenab River include Ratle Hydroelectric Project, Pakal Dul Hydroelectric Project, Salal Dam, Dulhasti Project, Pakal Dul Dam. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 5. Consider the following statements regarding the provisions related to human trafficking in India. 1. Article 23 of the Constitution prohibits human trafficking and forced labor. 2. Following the ratification of the United Nations Convention on Transnational Organized Crime, India has implemented the Criminal Law Amendment Act 2013. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. Both 1 and 2, D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option C. Measures taken by India to combat human trafficking. Constitutional and legislative provisions. Article 23, Clause 1 prohibits human trafficking and forced labor. Hence, Statement 1 is correct. Immoral Traffic Prevention Act 1956 focuses on preventing trafficking for commercial sexual exploitation. Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012 protects children from sexual abuse and exploitation. International conventions. UN Convention. The United Nations Convention on Transnational Organized Crime includes a protocol for the prevention, suppression, and punishment of trafficking in persons, especially women and children. India ratified the convention and implemented the Criminal Law Amendment Act 2013 in line with the Protocol on Trafficking in Persons. Hence, Statement 2 is correct. SAARC Convention. India has ratified the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation Convention on Preventing and Combating Trafficking in Women and Children for Prostitution. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 6. Which one of the following releases the Financial Stability Report in India? A. Securities and Exchange Board of India, B. Reserve Bank of India, C. Niti Aayog, D. Financial Stability and Development Council. The correct answer is option B. The Financial Stability Report is a biannual publication by the RBI. It reflects the collective assessment of the subcommittee of the Financial Stability and Development Council, which is headed by the Governor of the RBI. The report evaluates the resilience of the Indian financial system and identifies risks to financial stability. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 7. Consider the following statements regarding the Gini Index. 1. It measures income inequality within a population. 2. A higher Gini value reflects a more equitable society. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. Both 1 and 2, D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option A. The Gini Index or Gini coefficient was developed in 1912 by Italian statistician Corrado Gini. It measures income inequality within a population. Hence, Statement 1 is correct. The index is derived from the Lorenz curve, which plots the cumulative percentage of total income received against the cumulative percentage of recipients, starting with the poorest. The index is derived from the Lorenz curve, which plots the cumulative percentage of total income received against the cumulative percentage of recipients, starting with the poorest. The Gini coefficient quantifies the area between the Lorenz curve and the line of perfect equality, with values ranging from 0 to 1 or 0 to 100 when expressed as a percentage. A lower Gini value reflects a more equitable society. Hence, Statement 2 is not correct. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 8. Which of the following statements is or are correct regarding the Household Consumption Expenditure Survey? 1. It has been conducted by the National Statistical Office as a part of the National Sample Survey. 2. provides input for calculating consumer price indices and revising the base year for gross domestic product. 3. HCES helps to measure poverty, inequality, and social well-being. Select the correct answer using the code given below. A. 1 and 2 only. B. 2 and 3 only. C. 2 only. D. 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is option D. The Household Consumption Expenditure Survey collects data on household spending patterns to assess living standards, well-being and consumption behavior. HCES has been conducted by the National Statistical Office since 1951 as part of the National Sample Survey under the MOSPI. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Significance provides inputs for calculating consumer price indices and revising the base year for macroeconomic indicators like gross domestic product. Hence, statement 2 is correct. HCES helps to measure poverty, inequality and social well-being. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option D is the correct answer. Question 9. With reference to capital expenditure, consider the following statements. 1. It involves substantial investments aimed at generating long-term benefits. 2. The Indian government allocates capex through its annual budget. 3. It reduces liabilities via loan repayments and catalyzes private investment, making it crucial for sustained economic development. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is option C. Capex refers to funds spending on acquiring, upgrading, or maintaining physical assets like property, equipment, or technology. It is a long-term investment recorded as an asset and depreciates over time. Examples include machinery purchases and facility upgrades. Unlike operating expenses, which are the day-to-day costs of running a business, capex involves substantial investments intended to generate long-term benefits. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The Indian government allocates capex through its annual budget presented by the finance minister. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Significance: capex plays a vital role in economic growth due to its high multiplier effect. It boosts ancillary industries, creates jobs, and enhances labor productivity. As a counter-cyclical fiscal tool, capex stabilizes the economy and supports long-term revenue generation through asset creation. It also helps reduce liabilities via loan repayments and catalyzes private investment, making it crucial for sustained economic development. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 10. With reference to the National Education Policy 2020, consider the following statements. 1. It is based on the recommendations of Dr. K. Kasturirangan Committee. 2. It replaces the 10+2 system with a 5+3+3+4 structure, aligning education with the developmental needs of children aged 3 to 18 years. 3. Parakh is among the key initiatives of NEP 2020. How many of the statements given above is or are not correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is option D. National Education Policy 2020 replaced the 34-year-old NEP of 1986 and aimed to bridge gaps in quality, equity, and access to education at all levels. Based on the recommendations of Dr. K. Kasturirangan Committee, it prioritizes foundational literacy, a holistic curriculum, multilingual learning, and integration of vocational and academic pathways. Hence, statement 1 is correct. NEP 2020 replaced the 10+2 system with a 5+3+3+4 structure, aligning education with the developmental needs of children aged 3 to 18 years. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Key initiatives include PM Shri Scheme, Nipun Bharat Mission, Parakh, and Nishtha. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option D is the correct answer. Now, let us look at a practice question. Consider the following statements regarding the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. 1. It primarily focuses on trade tariffs and tariff rate quotas. 2. India has established CPAs with South Korea and Japan. Which of the statements given above is or are not correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. Please provide your answers in the comment section.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.